off the back of that, then, Tom, how do you think this impacts like a culture of people speaking up, not only from sharing ideas, but also creating a little bit more transparency in an organization?
You're talking about psychological safety here, really, and the different aspects of psychological safety, where if you're coaching individuals and you're performance coaching them, not performance managing them, right? So there's a different concept here, and you're coaching them for high performance. And part of that coaching is, tell me your struggles. Part of that coaching is, how would you like to do this? And be given the space to completely fail, to go, oh, okay, that doesn't work, right? People are going to start volunteering in those terms, going to start volunteering their ideas and their willingness to engage. And it's interesting from a neuroscience perspective, the brain actually you start to use different parts of the brain when this happens. So in that command and control, performance management kind of KPI, the brain is typically sitting using mostly the limbic brain, and it's in this away state and needs are not being met. But if you get somebody to engage and you get them to feel the rewards of dopamine or whatever the chemical is that happens, and they start to feel those rewards of engagement, then yes, absolutely, this is what starts to happen. You have to feel like I'm valued for this, and you have to feel like this is worth the risk of putting my hand up to say, I want to contribute. I want to challenge leadership and say, I think there's a better way of doing this without being shut down or shot down in flames for challenging the status quo, so to speak. That's invited, that the behavior and the mindset is different. I think you spoke about this earlier. It's about a growth mindset, and it's about emotional intelligence to be able to, hey, something's not sitting right with me here, right? This is what I'm feeling. This is what's happening for me. Maybe we can innovate a better way of doing this. Work with me here. Here's some ideas. Let's throw them around. And people are not sitting there judging and condemning, oh, because somebody dared to speak up or somebody dared to speak out. That it's a psychologically safe space to be able to contribute and learn and grow.
Yeah, but it also creates feedback loops, Sally.
Mm.
So leaders, and I'm going to use the leader, I'm not going to say managers, leaders that are coaching their teams know what's happening in that team. They know how people are thinking and feeling about the organization, about their work. In fact, you don't have to survey your people. Your team leader knows what's going on inside of that
100%.
team. So coaching creates the forum or the platform for that. It creates an intentional space to get that kind of feedback too. And so the organization is much more sensitive and finely tuned to the employee experience as it's happening in real time than a survey conducted every 6 months or 12 months later.
Oof, don't get me started.
So
what a beautiful document. Love it.
Yeah, so it puts team leaders in touch with their teams, and they can feed that back up to the top structures of the organization. And especially if there's a coaching culture that's been established from the top down, it means that kind of feedback is welcomed, it's acted upon, and the organization can pivot quickly where they realize that they might be making a mistake and actually putting some of their people into an away state. And HR might be able to tell you what it'll cost the organization in terms of money, pure monetary terms of the salaries of the people that are disengaged, versus having those people actually engaged and giving, contributing, and producing effort on behalf of the company. That's something that is very hard to quantify. We don't normally go through the trouble of quantifying that, but you can ask yourself, what is the cost of not coaching in an organization and enabling that kind of feedback system? If for every employee that is disengaged, what are you losing?
Yeah, we're going to have to come up with a new metric of value of lost potential. We'll call it VOLP.